Nearly half of all UK retirees say they retired earlier than planned, and 1 in 4 retired at least 5 years earlier than they expected. The data tells you this consistently. The age you plan to retire and the age you actually retire are almost never the same. So the question is not just when you want to retire, it's whether you're ready if retirement arrives earlier than you planned, which, let's face it, could happen to us all. In this video, I'm going to give you a framework for thinking about your perfect retirement age. This will not just be a number, but a set of conditions and principles. When those conditions align, that is your moment. Part 1. The age you have in your head was probably chosen for the wrong reasons. I want you to think about how you arrived at your retirement age. For a lot of people, it wasn't a calculation. 65 sounds right because it always has. Or 60 because a colleague did it. Or 70 because you're worried you haven't saved enough and more time feels safer. The average retirement age in the UK is currently around 65 for men and 64 for women. But the state pension age is already 66 and it's rising to 67 by 2028. So the number a lot of you are working towards is constantly moving. And yet almost nobody revisits their retirement age as their circumstances change. They said it once years ago and they just keep walking towards it. Here is what that costs you. If you retire too late, based on the number you set in your head, you're trading some of the best years of your retirement for income you did not actually need. If you retire too early without understanding what your money can do, you carry an anxiety into retirement that never quite leaves. The retirement age that matters is not the one on the calendar. It's the one that emerges when 3 things align. These are your finances, your health, and your sense of purpose. We're going to look at each of those in turn. And we need to start with the one nobody wants to talk about first, because it's the one with the hardest deadline. Also, while I have you, if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like too. So part 2, your health sets the retirement window, your finances decide whether you can use it. I have a client, he was in his late 50s, really successful career, sensible saver, and every time we spoke about retirement, he said the same thing, just a few more years, just a few more years, just a few more years to be safe. He retired at 68, and with 18 months, his health had changed quite significantly. Nothing dramatic, he is fine, but the retirement he'd imagined, the travel, the activity, the energy, looked different at 68 with a new hip than it was at 62 when we first started talking about it. He does not regret retiring when he did, but he wishes he'd understood earlier that the window for retirement he actually wanted was finite. And he'd been financially ready to step through it years before he actually did. The Office for National Statistics data on healthy life expectancy in the UK puts that figure at around 61 years for both men and women. This is the years you can expect to be in good health. That does not mean everything falls apart at 61, but it does mean that the years you delay retirement are shortening the window where you have the health to do the things you actually plan to do. The financial question and the health question have to be answered together because the money is there to fund a life and that life has a window. So assuming the health window is open, how do you know if the finances are actually ready? So part 3, waiting until you can afford to retire and waiting until you feel like you can retire are very, very different things. There is a gap that shows up in almost every retirement conversation I have. On one side is the number, what the plan says, what the pension is worth, what the income would be. On the other side is the feeling, the nagging sense that it's not quite enough, that another year would make it safer or that something might go wrong. The gap between those two things is not a financial gap. It's a confidence gap. And the reason it persists is that nobody ever tells you when enough is enough. There is no finish line, no letter that arrives saying you're good to go, you're clear to retire. So people keep working because stopping feels like a risk and staying feels like they're still in control. Here's the framework I use with clients. There's 3 questions that I get them to ask themselves. First, if you stopped working tomorrow, could your money support the life you want? If the honest answer is yes, big tick, that box is done. Second, are you healthy enough to actually enjoy the retirement you've been planning for? And third, do you know what you're retiring to, not just what you're retiring from? Because the people who struggle in retirement are usually the ones who run out of things to do. When the answer to all 3 is yes, that is your moment. For some people, it comes at 58. For others, it's 67. The age is a byproduct of the conditions, not the other way around. Here is the thing about retirement that nobody prepares you for. You spend decades building towards it. And then one day the conditions are met. The money is there, the health is there, the life you want is waiting. But the hardest part is giving yourself permission to stop. This is not about a number. It's about the life you've been working toward your whole career. The time to be present with the people who matter. The freedom to spend your energy on what you choose. The planning is what makes that moment possible, but the moment itself belongs to you. If you want to understand whether your 3 conditions are met, the link below will connect you with a regulated planner at Hoxton Wealth. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more retirement content. Thanks for watching.